Did Matthew Stafford just blow his MVP chances? After a shocking 3-interception meltdown against the Falcons, one NFL MVP voter isn't holding back. The accusations are flying, the debate is heating up, and the playoff picture just got a whole lot more interesting. You're watching NFL Snapwire, your go-to source for breaking NFL news, hot takes, and in-depth analysis. Let's dive in. Monday night in Week 17 brought a stinging setback for the Los Angeles Rams. In a tightly contested matchup against the Atlanta Falcons, the Rams fell 27-24, leaving fans stunned and frustrated. At the center of the controversy? Quarterback Matthew Stafford, who delivered an uncharacteristically rough performance. Stafford, normally one of the league's most consistent passers, completed 22 of 38 attempts for 269 yards. He managed 2 touchdowns, but his 3 interceptions overshadowed any positive stats. The Rams' offense struggled to maintain rhythm, and ultimately, Stafford's misfires were costly in a game that could have cemented his MVP candidacy. For months, Stafford has been in the conversation for the NFL's most prestigious individual award. With 4,448 passing yards, a league-leading 42 touchdowns, and just 8 interceptions heading into this game, he had built an MVP-worthy season. But the Falcons game has sparked intense scrutiny from analysts, fans, and even MVP voters. One of the most vocal critics is Emmanuel Acho, analyst and MVP voter, who didn't mince words. Acho accused Stafford of selling out the game and potentially the MVP award, claiming that the QB's performance in Atlanta was unworthy of the recognition he had been receiving. This harsh critique has ignited a fiery debate across the league. Can Stafford recover his MVP momentum, or is this loss the beginning of a downward slide in the race? Acho's criticism isn't just about stats, it's about timing and expectations. The Rams entered Monday night as heavy favorites against a struggling Falcons team. Many expected Stafford to showcase his elite talent and reinforce his MVP case. Instead, turnovers and missed opportunities dominated the narrative, leaving supporters shocked and detractors vindicated. Despite the setback, it's important to note Stafford's season as a whole. He has led the Rams to a playoff berth, and even with the recent losses, his season-long production remains impressive. But with the NFC East title now out of reach following 2 consecutive losses, Stafford's path to MVP glory faces significant hurdles. Adding another layer to the story is the emerging case of Drake May, the New England Patriots quarterback, who has quietly surged in the MVP conversation. May's consistent performances have put pressure on Stafford, especially in light of the Week 17 stumble. NFL pundits are now questioning whether Stafford's 3-interception game might cost him crucial votes in the final tally. Despite the drama, Rams head coach Sean McVay has confirmed that Stafford and the team starters will take the field in Week 18 against the Arizona Cardinals. There had been speculation that McVay might rest key players since LA had already clinched a playoff spot, but Stafford is set to lead the offense in the regular season finale. This decision provides Stafford a final chance to prove that the Falcons game was an anomaly and to reaffirm his MVP credentials. The matchup against the Cardinals offers a prime opportunity for redemption. Arizona has lost 8 games in a row, struggling with defensive consistency and offensive rhythm. For Stafford, this should be a game where he can dominate and silence critics like Acho, while giving voters fresh highlights to consider before the final MVP decision. However, the context of the NFL MVP race is not just about stats, it's about narrative. Stafford's 3-interception game has become a focal point in a season-long story of excellence, and now the narrative tension is at its peak. Analysts will scrutinize his performance against the Cardinals, evaluating whether he can regain his composure under pressure or if the Week 17 loss will linger as a blemish on an otherwise stellar campaign. The Rams themselves are facing a delicate balancing act. McVay must decide how aggressively to deploy Stafford while protecting the QB from injury in a game that technically doesn't impact their playoff positioning. But Stafford's pride, his legacy, and his MVP chances are all on the line. The Week 18 matchup could be the perfect stage for him to prove critics wrong, or it could further fuel debates about whether his Week 17 performance represents a worrying trend. Fans are watching closely. Social media erupted after the Falcons' loss, with supporters expressing disbelief at Stafford's 3 interceptions and critics seizing the moment to challenge his MVP credentials. Commentators are asking tough questions. Was this simply an off night, or does it reveal cracks in Stafford's game under pressure? And crucially, can he respond when it matters most? Adding another twist, the Falcons' game wasn't just a personal setback, it had team-wide implications. LA's defense was unable to contain Atlanta's offense, putting extra pressure on Stafford. This context matters when evaluating MVP candidacy, as voters like Acho consider both individual performance and leadership under challenging circumstances. Stafford's ability to overcome adversity in the final week of the season could prove decisive in swaying opinions. Looking ahead, the Rams' playoff performance will also weigh heavily in the MVP discussion. If Stafford can lead LA deep into the postseason, the Week 17 struggles may fade in comparison to his overall body of work. Conversely, if the Rams exit early, critics may cite the Falcons' game as evidence that Stafford's MVP case was overstated. In sum, Matthew Stafford's Week 17 performance against the Falcons has turned the NFL MVP conversation on its head. 1 game, 3 interceptions, and a wave of criticism from influential figures like Emmanuel Acho have created a high-stakes scenario for Stafford. Week 18 against the Arizona Cardinals is more than just a regular season finale, it's a chance to rewrite the narrative and make a final statement to MVP voters before the season concludes. For the Rams and Stafford, the stakes are clear: finish strong, silence critics, and keep the MVP dream alive. For fans, analysts, and the media, the drama continues, and the storylines are only getting more intense. Coming up next on NFL Snapwire, we break down Stafford's Week 18 matchup against the Cardinals and analyze how this game could make or break his MVP chances. Can he bounce back, or will the Falcons' loss define his season? Stay tuned, because we've got all the angles covered.